So I've got a story to tell you before we get into the meat of this finale for Ratchet and Clank. Remember when I said I didn't have the patience to sit and grind for all the bolts it would take to acquire the Rhino? Yeah. Some things have changed since the last time you all saw me in this series. So, what was my thought process? Well, it was pretty simple. I thought to myself, I've been told the final boss of this game is an absolute nightmare, and it's insanely difficult, and I'm probably gonna want to die multiple times while playing it. So, why risk that when I can just take the extra time, grind out the Rhino, or grind out the bolts I need for the Rhino, and then call it a day? Pretty simple. And the logic being, makes more sense rather than wasting my time trying to bash my head against the wall, fighting the boss the regular way. Just spend the extra time to grind for the Rhino bolts, and try to make the final boss as smooth an experience as possible. Now the problem with that is getting all the bolts you need is a giant pain in the ass. And here's why. Because I don't have all the time in the world to actually grind the legit way by just redoing the hoverboard races or redoing levels, breaking boxes, or whatever, I had to take advantage of an exploit. One I'm sure you know of if you played this game before, which involves the use of the decoy glove. So what you do is because I bought the decoy glove, I had enough bolts at least to do that, so I bought the decoy glove, and then I used the decoy glove to glitch myself out of the map by clipping through the wall, running along the exterior, floating over to the hoverboard race, which technically doesn't spawn in, like it's not visible to the player, but the geometry is still there, and then once you enter the geometry, it becomes visible. And then you walk around the perimeter of the hoverboard race, and you stop in front of one of the massive crate spawns, and you just use the taunter on it. It's the only place where the taunter is actually viable outside of skill points. And you make sure you can't see the boxes, because so long as you can't see the boxes in your field of view, they'll infinitely respawn, and you'll get bolts constantly coming to you. So, once I hit that sweet spot, I just tape down the circle button. Like, I actually got scotch tape, and I just taped it down, and I thought I was done. My original plan was to leave it running while I slept, and then when I woke up in the morning, it'd be done. Now here's the flaw with this plan. I'm playing this game on the PS5, and I'm streaming it through PlayStation Plus. Now the thing about streaming games through PlayStation Plus is that they can kick you off whenever they want. So even though the circle button was taped down, the game treats a single binary action repeated as the same as if you aren't doing anything at all. So just taping down the circle doesn't convince the game that I'm actually an active player. So I couldn't just leave, unless I MacGyvered some kind of Breaking Bad contraption to move back and forth and push the button again and again and again. I couldn't leave it running overnight, so I had to abandon the plan. I figured, alright, I'll come back tomorrow and because I wanted to try to record the finale earlier today, but I couldn't, because I had to babysit this damn thing all day. Constantly coming back here to just push the R2 button to make Ratchet crouch like this every 10 minutes, because it is 10 minutes. It is actually, it might even be less than 10 minutes, but I'm pretty sure 10 minutes is the maximum limit for which you can leave this game unattended before it just tells you to screw off and shuts itself down. And I know this because I lost hours of progress. Literal hours of progress were lost. To give you an idea, it took me, I think it took me because I actually timed it with a stopwatch. It took me just about 4.5 hours to go from 30,000 bolts to 150,000 bolts. And I made a lot of progress multiple times earlier today, but there was one time when I left it running. I had to go to the bathroom, so I ran to the bathroom, and when I came back, it had booted me out. So I lost hours of progress, because it doesn't save. It doesn't save until you manually do the save. So I lost all those bolts, got reset back to the start, and it was really annoying because I did 4 hours, lost it, did another 4 hours, lost it, then another the worst part is when it tells you, your internet connection is not stable enough to support this game, so we're gonna kick you out. Bye-bye, thanks for playing. I did save it one time when that happened. When I saw that message pop up, my instincts kicked in, and I scrambled to go to the menu and go to options and then save the game. Especially because apparently the mega box strat only works once, because I didn't want to stay up all night just sitting here watching Ratchet get a bunch of bolts. So I came back the next day, which is today that I'm recording this, and when I went to go back to the hoverboard area again, the big box stash was gone. So apparently it only works once per playthrough. Then I had to find another box set, which is a lot smaller. I mean, I still got bolts decently fast, but wasn't as good as the big box stack. So yeah, I've had a really fun day with this game, but it will all be worth it. Hopefully, it will all be worth it when we get the Rhino and we can beat the boss in a non-horrible manner. Oh, also, you probably noticed that I also got enough bolts to acquire some new weapons, so I got the Tesla Claw, which, by the way, it's a beast. I can't imagine much will be able to stop us on Velden with this thing. It's kind of amazing. That's why I wanted to get it. And I also used the Tesla Claw to go back through Orxon and get the remaining health upgrades we needed. The first of which cost 4,000 and gave me 1 additional health point. The second of which cost 30,000 and gave me 3 extra hit points. I don't think they really scaled that properly, but it's alright. Yeah, I think that's all that you need to know. The short version is, I grinded for bolts off camera, I got the Tesla Claw, I got the health upgrades, and I now have enough to get the Rhino. It wasn't fun, it was a giant pain because of streaming connection issues, of the game just booting you out if you're AFK for too long, of the boxes not respawning. So even the tape didn't keep the circle button pressed down, so I had to keep lifting it up and down again. And I couldn't leave the room for risk of not being here. Like, I can't express to you the primal fear I felt all day when I left the room to do something really quickly, and then I was like, oh shit, it's been 5 minutes, maybe the game closed by now, it has been an entire 5 minutes, oh no, and sprinting back in here to mash the R2 button so that it wouldn't close on me. It's been a day, so hopefully it all goes super smoothly now. Now, the only other thing is that I don't actually remember where the Rhino is. I think it's pretty early in the level. I'm, like, pretty sure it's early on in Rogar. And hey, you guys can actually hear me play through this level without my voice being drowned out by the game because the audio mixing was completely broken for that video. Apologies about that, but at least you can hear me now. Or, I mean, I say that. What? Oh, no. I done boned myself. So here's the other thing, is that you'd think that having double the amount of hit points I had previously would make the game twice as easy, because I can take twice as much damage. But if the final boss is as much of a pain as I've heard it is, no. Oh, why are you a dick? I have a feeling I'm almost not even gonna notice the extra hit points. I think it's here, right? It's pretty early on in the level that on one of these streets you can find the Rhino dude. Do you take me there? I think you take me there. Head downtown. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's early in downtown. Wasn't there? I feel like there was a more direct way to reach the Rhino dude in the remake. Because in the remake, I'm pretty sure that I remember there being 2 taxis at the start of the level. There's one taxi that takes you where it takes you to the hoverboard races, and then there's another taxi that takes you to the Rhino salesman. So it was. I mean, not that it took me that long to get here, but still, it was a more direct way. Anyway, buy Rhino for 150,000 bolts. Yes, please.
Oh, this thing is heavy. Yeah, try carrying it around in your trench coat for 2 months.
Thank you, sir. We'll be sure to tell everyone about your services.
Listen, you little twerp. If you tell anyone what you saw, what we talked about.
Do I even have to say it?
Yous two have a nice day.
Yeah, not the wisest move in the world there, my friend. Alright, this thing better be worth all the hassle. If I use this thing, and it ends up just being absolute piss, like you're actually just pissing on the enemies with how weak it is, I'm gonna be real upset if I wasted all my time for a crap. I wouldn't imagine it'd be crap, but you never know. Alright, let's do some inventory management. One final time, let's do some inventory management. Okay. I don't need this. The only reason I bought the decoy glove is so that I could clip out of the wall. I do not envision myself ever using this for actual combat purposes. Do we bring back the suck cannon for the meme? Just in case? Or should we maybe it's better to have the Visibomb out so that we have both of those. Glove of Doom's always good. Drone device is good. I haven't really gotten a test to properly test. It's been more of a hindrance to me than anything else so far, because I've only been able to use it in stealth sections where it's not at all optimal. So I'd like to actually test it in battle. Bomb's always good to have. Tesla Claw Essential Slingshot. I'm pretty sure this you need this for the final battle. And then what else can we get? Blaster. I'm not really feeling the blaster. Oh, right, the Parasitor. Well, actually, I mean, the Tesla Claw kind of fills in the role. That's why I put it in its old slot, because it's just a more powerful version of that, essentially. So I don't think I actually need that. Let's do the Suck Cannon. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Feeling pretty good about that. I guess I can Hydro Displacer, Swing Shot. Swing Shot, we're gonna need. Hollow Guys, probably not. Metal Detector, probably. I mean, and if we do need any of these, it'll be for very specific situations in which we'll have plenty of time to equip them. So I don't think we really need to. Oh no, not that thing again. Is that the oxygen mask? Oh no, sorry, it's the Suck Cannon. Never mind. I saw that and I thought of the oxygen meter that was stuck on the side of the screen in Novalis. That's only visible because we're playing at 16:9. When in 4:3 it wouldn't be visible at all. But no, this is just the Suck Cannon, so I can suck you up. Never mind, you're too big to be sucked. Now I just skip this by doing this. I sure can. How much money do you want to bet that you can't do that in the remake? I somehow think the remake's level design, even though it's the actual design of the levels is the same as it is in the original for the most part, from what I can remember, I feel like that only applies to the routes which the developers actually want you to take. As far as going outside of the bounds, like going out of bounds, taking shortcuts like what I just did, probably don't let you do that. But who knows? I don't actually know for sure. But that's just something that's pretty common among a lot of newer games, is that they're a lot more rigid on invisible walls than some of the older games. But who knows? Okay, here it is. After all this, after the big adventure we've been on, it's finally come full circle back to where we started on planet Velden. Save Ratchet's planet. Let's do it. I already like that as a finale premise way more than the deplanetizer's gonna destroy the universe. Because this, I mean, smaller scale, sure, but like, I actually care because we started here. This is our home planet. We gotta save our home planet, my dude. And it's full circle. Love it. Love it. Let's hope the level itself doesn't actually suck, because that'd be real unfortunate if it did. See, now I'm thinking maybe it's better to have the Pyrocitor out, just so that I don't waste the Tesla Claw ammo on the little guys. Actually, you know what? Let's have the Suck Cannon for the little guys. That's what we'll do. Well, we'll use the Suck Cannon for these guys, and then I can just spit them out at other people, right? Yeah. Okay. So this will be our compromise. This will be what we do to take on... Alright, now I need Devastator, I think. You know, I don't think this thing is really all that great unless you use the lock-on feature. Fortunately, he stops firing after a certain point, so I have the time to stop and line up a shot. I've been told that you can rely on the auto lock-on feature. I can't say I share those feelings. The auto... Oh no! The hip fire without aiming down does not seem to be particularly effective. No! These guys are easy. Assuming I'm close enough to actually lock onto them, because they have a nice long period of time when they stop and don't shoot you at all. Man, why wasn't I using this for the rest of the game? This thing's awesome. I mean, yeah, sure, it only works on enemies of a certain size, but like, damn, it's not only very, very powerful against enemies of that certain size, but it's just really fun to grab enemies, suck them up, and then flip them back onto them by firing their own enemies like firing members of the team at each other. That's what I'm trying to say here. Can I hit big guys with it too? Well, I think that counted as a hit. That did in fact count as a hit. I don't think he would have died in one hit otherwise. Oh, that's a tank. And that's that to me looks like a target for the Visibomb gun. This calls for the Visibomb. It's even got a big-ass target painted on its face. Oh, okay. It didn't explode immediately, so I thought it just tanked that shot like it was nothing. But no, it looks like it was just It just had a delayed inverted. I got it. My brain is still not trained. It's inverted vertical, regular horizontal. Like, it shouldn't be this hard for me to wrap my brain around it, but it feels wrong to control. And didn't we confirm there's no way to actually change that, like in camera? Yeah, because this only applies to the camera controls. It doesn't actually change the Visibomb or the flying or anything like that. Flying controls, I don't think you can actually change, which is unfortunate. I wish there was an option to do that. That'd be greatly appreciated. That's one of the... I really don't have much to complain about in this game. Like, at all. This is very, very fun. Very, very happy with this game. Just a few small things like that where it's just, man, it would be great if there was some inverted controls. It's really my biggest complaint is the checkpoints. I mean, I'll save my thoughts, my more in-depth thoughts until we actually get to the credits, because that's when I usually like to stop and dissect the journey we went on, talk about all the good and all the bad. But I mean, it's not like it's a spoiler for me to say, hey, the checkpoints in this game suck balls. I mean, I don't know if that's something that people generally agree upon in the Ratchet Clank community, because I know there's a lot of people that will readily come to the defense of a lack of checkpoints in games, saying, well, it makes the game more challenging, and to which I say, yeah, challenge is when you redo extensive sections of a game you've already completed for literally no reason at all. I don't buy the challenge argument. It doesn't... doing something again that I've already done isn't challenging, it's just tedium. It's just monotonously retreading. Like, I've already proven to you that I'm capable of getting past this. Like, if it was... There's a certain point where, like, you don't want to give too many checkpoints, because then it becomes too easy. Like, I get that. I think it worked for some games, but some not so much. But there's a difference between, like, a checkpoint for every step you take, and one checkpoint for the entire level. And I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say one for the entire level, I get that. But, like, I'm barely exaggerating. Okay, trespasser time? Trespasser time. Let's whip out... Actually, can I just pull out it, like, right here? I might not even... Yeah, I don't even need to put it on quick select. Because I can just manually equip it by going into the menu. And the trespasser isn't something that I need to really pull out in the heat of combat. Although, that's the other... Okay, that's one other thing I'll say about the like, big things in this game that I wish were different. The game doesn't freeze when you pull out the weapon wheel. Not a big deal, of course, but I do appreciate in the remake and Rift Apart that the game freezes and allows you time to switch your weapons. Anyway, let's get to work. Okay, so what do we got? We have the outer ring has 2 big lasers. Okay, that seems perfect to go there, because bottom left shoots the top right, bottom right shoots to top left. Next ring, we have 2 that... This can't be that easy, can it? No, okay, it's not that easy. But if I move this out of the way, it is. Okay, that seemed uncharacteristically easy for what's supposed to be on the final level of the game. I forgot that I still had things in the suck cannon. I thought it was empty. Turns out it wasn't. That seemed to just perfectly line up with where all the lasers needed to go. It's like, oh, these point in this direction. Those point in this direction. There you go, puzzle. All you gotta do left is just move one more out of the way, and then the puzzle solves. I feel like the ones on Altanus Orbit seemed like they took and also Pokitaru, when we were chasing after the guy who needed Raritanium. I feel like really took a little more brain power than that. Now it looks like we need the Hydra Displacer, which I like. I like that. I guess I should have expected the final planet would require the use of all the tools we've had along the way, because that's what a final level should do. It should test all the skills, all the weapons, maybe not all the weapons, just, it should test all the base skills and gadgets you've acquired over the course of the game. That being said, I can do without a Hologuy section, if you don't mind. I don't need you to test me on the Hologuys. We already had an extensive section about that for 2 whole planets, so we can skip out on that one. I'm not going to be heartbroken if we don't have a Hologuy section, really. It's fine. I don't need it. And I'm not refilling this. I do not need to refill ammo for the goddamn decoy glove. This had exactly one purpose, and it was to break the game. Like, I did not use this for anything to do with the actual gameplay. I only used this to escape the gameplay, to exploit it by escaping to the damn hoverboard track thing. Oh, I forget that I had this. Right. Wait, maxed out? Real? Oh, I guess because I picked up ammo for this along the way. Right. Oh, yeah, and the Rhino. We'll swap in the Rhino eventually. But we don't... I want to save all the Rhino ammo for... I don't even want to use it until we get to the final boss. I do not feel the need to use it for the level as a whole. Honestly, I mean... This might be a whole knock on wood thing, but so far... Granted, I do have a lot more health than I usually do, so I'm feeling more comfortable knowing that I have 6 hit points instead of 4. I mean, I have 8 total, but right now I have 6 of my 8 health points. So, okay, this is jump and then R1. Easy peasy. I'm feeling a lot safer, a lot more confident and comfortable than I would be if I only had 2 hit points remaining. But still, that hasn't been... Did I get Devastator ammo? I didn't get Devastator... You know, I know I was missing something. It will be okay. We will be a-okay, you know? Because we have the Tesla Claw. Haven't been using this because I've been trying to conserve it by using the suck cannon. But, like, if I just hold... Oh, that's a hole in the floor, is what that is. That is a gap in the geometry. See, if I didn't have the extra hit points, I'd be dead right now. I would have already lost all my health. But I'm still kicking. And I'm probably going to use the Visibomb gun against the tank, because obviously I don't want to... Actually, let me use the Devastator against these guys right here. I'll use the Visibomb against the tank, but against these guys, I think it's worthwhile to use the Devastator. And then get out the Visibomb. Fire away. Direct hit. Awesome. Now, let's not fail any of these jumps. I have... No. Oh. Well, let's see how bad the checkpoints are. Okay. I'm actually fine with this. Only because it allows me to get more Gatatron, or more ammo for the Devastator. And also because I'm pretty sure this is... Like, the water still remains drained, so it actually starts me right before the encounter I was just at, so... Really, I've lost nothing so far, which is good. I fully approve. How did I miss the ammo for the Devastator when I was going through all the weapons? I didn't even die by the enemies last time. I died by my own platforming failures. So let's just skip the small platform and just boost straight to the other side this time. Suck all of you up. You all suck. And you deserve to be fired by my own suck cannon to really sink in just how much you suck. Is that ship gonna stop? It sure is, I think. Yeah, it's got the big old... I know it's a ship we can hit because it's got the big old target on it. So let's see how this goes. Not what I was trying to hit, but, I mean, it works. It did take out an enemy that I wanted to kill. Did we get a 2 for 1? 2 for 1? I don't think I was hoping I could take out both the floating soldier dude as well as the ship, but it looks like I only got the ship. But floating soldier dudes are vulnerable to is it 1 or 2? I think it's... Sometimes I think it's 1, sometimes I think it's 2 Devastator shots. Looks like it might actually only be 1. I thought it was 2, but I guess it's just 1. Man, okay. Yeah, they die to a single Devastator shot. I don't think I really need to worry about you guys. I mean, I might be singing a different tune if I didn't have 8 health points. But, yeah, so far, my adventures have been worth it if for no other reason than to get my hands on the Tesla Claw and to get the extra hit points. The extra hit points alone would have made that a worthwhile expedition. I just wish that I wasn't doing it through PlayStation's god-awful cloud streaming so that I wouldn't have to worry about the game booting me out of it after 10 minutes. 10 whole minutes of not touching the controller. Like, I get it, right? It's cloud's limited space, you gotta make room for other players. But you can make it a little more generous than 10 minutes on the dots. Like, it's just a smidge. I'm not asking for like an hour before you kick me off, but a little more would be nice. Just a little. Please. Oh no, okay, this might be time for a Visibomb gun so that I don't die after having come this far. Wait, can I manually... If I manually detonate this thing, will it kill them? Let's see. Nice. Okay, so it works exactly like the cruise bubble then, where I can manually detonate it if I want to and still cause a massive explosion. That probably would have been helpful if I'd done that previously, but a little too late to change the past now. Little too late to change. Don't kill. Oh my god, where's that going? Probably to the next section. I panicked. I thought it was gonna stop right near me and kill me instantly. But we're good. Please don't blow up and kill me. You never know the range on those things. You never know the range on those things. Aha! I see a slingshot in my distant future. In my distant future, I mean right in front of me. Like, it's literally right there. It's actually just right in front of me. I do not need to look very far into the future at all to see what's coming up next. Good thing I kept this thing in my quick select, because if there was one gadget that would need to be used more frequently and would justify the usage of the quick select, it would. Oh my! Oh, I forgot about the ship. Oh. Wouldn't be a Ratchet and Clank episode if I wasn't getting frustrated at least one of the damn checkpoints.
No need to use the special features of a Ratchet Clank switch. You can find one at Bob's Turbo Shack, just around the corner.
Didn't I need to use that to get to this point? Like, I like how they're telling me that as if, isn't it mandatory that you use? How could I have conceivably gotten to this point in the game without you? Oh well, whatever. See, like, on the one hand, I don't know, I much prefer how in the remake and Rift Apart, I have the ability to sidestep the attacks by by jumping left to right and strafing. But on the other hand, I guess it does kind of add to the strategic element of the game, in that you have to be much more methodical and precise with when and where you choose to step out of cover and fire your shots. So I don't know, it's... I get the design philosophy of both styles of game, but I still probably prefer the one from the remake and Rift Apart. Even though I still respect what they're going for with the original here. The range on the Devastator, man. I almost feel like this is more powerful than the Visibomb gun. Mechanically speaking, and statistically it's not, because this thing can't one-shot a tank as far as I'm aware. But the range this thing has without even needing to go into Superfly mode, not to be underestimated. Also, I haven't tested this, but it kind of seems like when you have the Visibomb gun and when you use it, you can't actually be hit by anything while you're in flight mode, which is not the way the cruise bubble works in Battle for Bikini Bottom. Battle for Bikini Bottom, you are not safe when you're in cruise bubble mode. The enemies can and will still hit you while you are flying the cruise bubble in their direction, which I actually think I prefer. Like, obviously, it makes it easier if they can't hit you, but it doesn't make much sense to me, because there have been multiple times. I don't really want to test this on the final level. I want to make sure I don't take stupid hits when I don't have to. But I feel like there's been multiple times when I've gone into Visibomb mode and I've fired a projectile at something in front of me, and then the enemies would shoot back, and the projectiles would just never reach me, even though they definitely should. Maybe it was just a fluke, but it's happened multiple times, so I feel like I'm not just making it up out of nowhere, but I haven't done extensive testing to make a definitive call one way or the other. Anyway, we're running low on Devastator, so let's do what we did last time. Okay, since this thing has insane range, so that I don't forget about you, let's just fire this off now. Like, it actually seems like this thing does not have a limit to how far it can go throughout the level, which is kind of awesome and also kind of broken. Because the cruise bubble and Battle for Bikini Bottom, I hate that I keep well, no, I was gonna say I hate that I keep comparing it. I don't hate that I'm comparing it, because it's an apt comparison, but I'm sorry if you're sick of hearing about it, but it's a pretty apt comparison for what this is. In Battle for Bikini Bottom, you have a very limited window of time where you're actually allowed to use the cruise bubble. I think it's only a couple seconds before it blows up, which means you have to really know where you're aiming, and you have to be accurate. So it's a bit more intense. I mean, it is cool to be able to fly through the entirety of the level with this thing. And also, it's kind of insane, given what I assume was pretty limited technology back then, given that it was on the PS2. So the fact that it was even able to fly throughout the whole level is impressive from a purely technical perspective just alone. So I respect it just on that note. But Yeah, I think it is a little weird that I can fly infinitely. Or maybe it's not that it's weird, it's just that my brain is trained around the mechanics of the cruise bubble. So anything that doesn't perfectly match it feels weird to me. That's probably a more accurate way to put it. By the way, have I mentioned also how much I fucking hate the goddamn lag? I hate, you know? Okay, this I do hate to say. It kind of feels like 06, Sonic 06. It kind of feels like the exact same lag that game has. And don't twist my words. I'm certain it's because I'm streaming the game, and you know how everyone loves streaming games through the cloud. That's almost certainly the reason why this is happening. So I'm not blaming the game itself, but it is still happening, and I'm still allowed to be annoyed that it is happening. Alright, this one looks like it might be a little less straightforward, because all of them are in a row on the bottom right, so I can't just use the look for which receptacles would most neatly line up with the lasers this time. So I mean, the top row doesn't have any blockers at all, so that makes things pretty easy. This one has one blocker, and, okay, so it can't hit there, can't hit there, can't hit there. So it can't hit any of the first three, but it could hit here, or it could hit here. If it hits there, it blocks the top row, so I would need to move the top row one to the left. And that lines them up so that currently we have the right one, and the middle one, and then the one to the right of the right one would be hit. And then if what's left to move... Oh, actually, that works out perfectly. Okay, that's perfect then. I think I accidentally made my way into that one by just getting lucky with which ones I checked out first. But that was nice and smooth. I still stand by that I wish I could deactivate rings, though. I think it would just maybe it's just the way my brain works, but it kind of feels overwhelming to see all the lasers crossing over each other. It would be a lot less overstimulating, if that's even the right way to phrase it, if I was able to limit how much information, how I was visually taking in at any given time, so that I had the ability to, like, compartmentalize what everything does and see what the lasers are actually hitting without them overlapping each other. That's one thing I do really appreciate about the remakes, Trespasser puzzles. Hi there. Would you like a Visibomb gun? I mean, you had a big-ass target on your face, so I would hope so. And if you didn't, then you might want to consider getting a paint job, because it kind of makes you really, really easy to aim for. Do I even need health? I probably do, right? No, I still am holding on strong to health. Oh, where did you come? Did I? You know, I kind of feel like I just watched you fade into existence out of nothing. Weird. I feel like you just straight up weren't there a minute ago, and then you were. Odd. Can I even reach that? I don't know if I trust this. Do I trust this? I better trust it. That almost didn't work. That was very nerve-wracking. I wasn't extremely confident in that actually working. Oh my god, why are there... Oh, wow. Just sign my death warrant already, is what I would say if I didn't have a goddamn Visibomb gun that I can just pick you all... So, what is one meant to do if one doesn't have the Visibomb gun, would be my... Like, look at this! It's like the minefield they come across in Finding Nemo of all the explosive balloon things. Like, do you just... You just die, right? Surely, is you just give up on, you yield your life certificate. You just roll over and die. Oh, now they know I'm here. Oh my god, run! Holy shit. Nope. No, I'm gonna stay right down here. You have all the fun you want up there. Let's put on the drone device as well. Oh my god. Well, no hiding now. They can't reach me here though, so... More Visibomb action? Yep. I'm probably gonna have to... Oh my... This is gonna be an interesting experience. I was kind of hoping that they would never realize I was here and I could pick them all off one by one. That plan fell by the wayside much faster. At least they didn't notice I was here until after the big ships were destroyed. Okay, yeah. See, right there. I was definitely... You could see the projectiles were hitting Ratchet, but they weren't actually damaging me. So that I'm pretty sure you are immune when you use this thing. Which makes sense. It's not quite what I'm... Let's test it again. Oh. Okay, now I'm not sure. Because now that's when I felt like I got broken out of the Visibomb thing. So I don't know. Maybe you're invincible, maybe you're not. I honestly don't know. I've seen evidence of... Uh-oh. Well? Devastator? Save me? Not if I hit the floor. Oh, there's a whole... Oh. There's a whole other hallway. I thought... You know, I kind of thought that I was gonna have to jump down there after I was done. Did I even need to kill any of them? Or Hydra Displacer slot somewhere in... Ah, over there. Oh, but I don't have the Hydra pack, so this might be... Might be tricky. This might be a close call. I don't know how tight this swim is gonna be, but we're gonna try our best. Right, go down, descend, and swim for your life. Oh, actually, wait, we don't need... No, sorry, the Hydra pack just makes it so you swim faster, but we have the O2 mask, which is the thing we actually need to be able to swim without losing oxygen. The Hydra pack just makes it so that you can swim more efficiently, not swim without dying, so... Never mind, disregard all that I was saying. So does this take me around the enemies? Oh, do you think I just wasted... You know, maybe I wasn't actually... I did get the sense that it was a comical amount of enemies placed in that. Oh, I was meant to kill them as Giant Clank, wasn't I? I was meant to kill them as Giant Clank, wasn't I? That's what I was meant to do, wasn't I? That's why there were so many enemies. That's... You know, that makes more sense, doesn't it? I was wondering what you were meant to do if you don't have any of the Visibomb gun stuff. Well, there's the answer. The answer is you just play the level normally and then you get Giant Clank. Oops. Oops. Yeah, I did get the feeling there were more enemies there than there realistically should have, like a comical amount. Like you weren't actually meant to survive that, but then we did. Because we had the Visibomb. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Hey! What the?
Oh no, is this it?
After all the trouble you've gone through, you're about
Oh no, this is it, isn't
right
it?
where you
Oh
started.
no. I didn't. Oh, I don't have the Rhino selected. Okay, well we're gonna have to select that immediately as soon as we get control of Ratchet again. But first, we get to kick the shit out of you as Clank, which seems not that hard actually, because I can just mash square over and over again. And what are you gonna do about it? The answer is nothing. You cannot defeat Giant Clank. Oh, was that it?
You might have been useful to me after all. Too bad you chose the wrong side.
Oh, alright, it is time, which, Suck Cannon, you are no longer of any use to me. I need to get the Rhino out. Alright, now's the time to prove your worth to me, and actually, also, you know what? Let me put it in this slot, because I need to be able to reach it quickly. And it's quicker for me to be able to just push down on the D-pad. I need to quickly be able to get out the Rhino should I need to. Alright, here we go. Oh, actually, first, yeah, I was about to say, they should probably put a thing here. I was hoping we were going to get a Gadgetron vendor to restock on ammo first, and thankfully, that's exactly what they gave us. Now, the real question is, will they checkpoint me here? Or at least at the start of the Giant Clank fight? I'm assuming the game wouldn't be that terrible to where it wouldn't even checkpoint you at the start of the boss fight. Like, regardless of how many phases there are, it would at least checkpoint you at the start, and I wouldn't have to go back any further than that. I think I can at least safely have that much faith in the game's design. Alright, this is it. This is what it all comes down to, baby. Oh, here goes nothing. Let's hope... The final level itself wasn't that bad. The final level itself was perfectly manageable with the caveat that we had the extra hit points. That was a nice final level. The final boss, on the other hand, that remains to be seen how much of a pain this is. But we're going to use the Rhino, which actually seems like it might not be that big of a deal at all because it's... Okay, well, first let me jump over the fire. But we just shredded through his first phase. Okay. Are there any health? Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh no, oh no, the floor is gonna fall apart. Alright, hold on, let me get the, I keep forgetting about the damn drone device. Any health refills around here? I don't really need ammo, I just restocked on ammo. But I could definitely, oh, they tilt, right, I need to, oh, no, not only do they tilt, but they fall. Leap of faith! The range on this, did I not have it equipped? I probably didn't have it equipped. I thought I did, but I guess not. Well, the good news is the Rhino allows you to shred through him pretty much instantly. Like, that phase lasted, what, 5 seconds? So, even if we do die a bunch of times, it shouldn't take us that long to get back to where we were a moment ago, which is good. Because it takes, okay, I think it took 3 shots from this thing. So there's 1 shot, and all the targets lock on. There's shot number 2, and there's shot number 3. And that's the phase over. Hook shot, sorry, swing shot is equipped this time. Please don't fail me now. I pushed the, this is why I hate using the, this is why I hate not going into first person camera mode for these things, because it doesn't lock on when you want it to. I'm gonna have to take this, I'm just gonna have to take the time to, so let me test it here. Let me test it at the beginning. If I stop, look up, yeah, I have time to do that. I have time to do that. Stop, look up, and swing. I cannot take the risk. Don't know what the camera was doing there, but we made it. Alright, made it to round 2. Ooh, and there's a health station here. That's good. I will probably need it if you do the fire thing, which you're going to. Yeah. Alright, dodge that one. Dodge that one too. Alright. Turns out when you actually look at where the cannonballs are hitting, they're easy to dodge. They're pretty easy to dodge. The thing that's gonna screw me over here isn't even gonna be the fight, because I have the Rhino, and it takes 3 shots to knock out one of his phases. It's just gonna be the platforming, and hoping that the swing, because I refuse to trust the swing shot anymore. Like, I could give it a shot here, but, like, why would I, when it clearly has proven itself to be unreliable, whereas this works every single time? The only thing it does do is that it like, flips out the camera occasionally when you do that. I don't know why, probably because the platform you're standing on is unstable. So, oh my god, and that, wow, just fuck you then. Like, actually fuck you, wow. There was actually no way I could have known that was going to fall. And there's no backup plan, because obviously when you don't use first person mode and you try to lock on without it, then it just doesn't work. Alright, we nailed it that time.
So it has come to this. Once I step on this ignition switch, a countdown will commence. The end of which signals the destruction of your pitiful world.
There must be another way to make a home for your people.
You think that's what this is about? Who do you think polluted our last world? I did. This is about one thing and one thing only. Cash! And lots of it. You see, I've been paid for every square inch of my new world. Once the inhabitants move in, I will begin polluting this world as well. Then the whole thing starts all over again. Ah, brilliant.
Why, you evil little...
Save it, Clank. We have to stop that timer.
Oh god. Oh dear. Oh no. Okay, okay. Alright, hold on. We can do this. We know how to do this. Jump! Slam! Alright, now, oh my. Hi. You're a little closer than I would like you to be. You're way closer than I would have liked you to be there, friend. Okay, well at least, I mean, the thing is the Rhino, if I just hold down circle, you kind of, oh no, back to, well, I mean, can I just camp out here in the middle? If I just camp out here in the middle, I feel, hey, you want to get away from me? Hey, personal space, buddy, personal space, oh, this is a grind rail. Oh, I didn't, there's a grind rail in this arena, apparently. Oh, shit, get off, please get off. Oh, save the world. Alright, we did it. It's just that easy. Oh my god, can you learn personal space? There's boundaries. I need my safe space, my dude. Okay, I could probably kill him before the world explodes, but like, why risk that? Also, is that really it? Like, Wow. So in conclusion, I would have beaten that first try were it not for the stupid slingshot.
What's up? You know, this time I am thinking what you're thinking.
Okay, that's awesome for two different reasons. Not only is it that's like what the remake was trying to do. There's this moment in the remake when the planetizer's crashing into the planet, and they're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna die. And then Clank goes over to the teleportation grid, and then he's trying to lift it up with his hands. And Ratchet's like, what are you doing? And then Clank says, improvising. And the way it's like, Ratchet smiles at him as if that's a payoff for something, but it's not. At no point earlier in the game does Clank or Ratchet ever say something like, sometimes you gotta learn how to improvise, or you gotta be quicker on your feet, or just something to set up that as a payoff, but there's nothing like that. But this actually is a payoff, because earlier on Hoven, when they were gonna jump on the turrets, Ratchet's like, you think what I'm thinking? And Clank's like, I severely doubt it. They paid it off. They called back to that line. But also, I think we're gonna use the deplanetizer to just nuke Drek, which is amazing, and way better than what happened to him in the remake, where he just got replaced as the villain in his own game by Nefarious.
This can't be good. Phew, that was close. Clank, you can pull us up now.
The servos in my arm appear to be broken.
Broken? As in, fall to our deaths broken?
Yes.
That was close. Thanks.
My arm appears to be badly damaged.
Ah, you'll be all right. Hey, tin can! Where do you think you're going? We, still need to fix that arm.
Man! Fuck the remake! That is so much better! In every conceivable way. That is just... I don't even remember how the only thing I remember from the ending of the remake is improvising. And then I think they... Doesn't it end with Ratchet and Clank talking to Quark on Kerwan as like the epilogue for all his narration throughout the game? That's stupid. Okay, so ignoring the final boss, which the final boss is a joke in the remake. In this, I mean, the final boss, if you want to talk about the final boss, I already kind of went over it. The idea of, first off, it feels way more epic. You get to fight him as both Clank and Ratchet. It feels more grand of a scale, going across the vast expanses of Velden. And were it not for the fact that I had the Rhino, it probably would have felt a lot more intense, because, like, there's always a ticking clock in the fight that he keeps resetting the timer. You have to keep stopping the timer to prevent the planet from blowing up. Way better final boss, and it ends with Quark being defeated by his own weapon instead of whatever the hell Nefarious did to him in the remake. But just that ending, I do not remember the ending of the remake. Like, whatever the final shot was, I don't remember it. I will never forget that ending that I just watched right there. That was so much better, because it's like... They started working together out of necessity, of the adventure they wanted to try to, for their own, they were in this for their own purposes originally, of going after Drek versus just, like, Ratchet was dead set on Quark because he tried to betray them, and Clank was always trying to go after Drek, and the two would bicker as to what they should prioritize, and they were never really on the same page until later in the game when they started to bond a bit closer. And that's... Wait, Kevin Michael Richardson is that where I know that voice from? I've been trying to figure out the whole damn game where I know Drek from.
So it has come to this. I beg your pardon. When you see this finds its way to King Clothorn, this is about one thing and one thing only. Cash! And lots of it. Welcome to the other side of the world. My name is Tarek. Hail and well met.
Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, point being that because they, man, in the remake they become best friends immediately. Like they meet, and then they're like, "What do you say you come back to my place and we get yourself all fixed up?" And then they don't ever talk to each other about anything meaningful again for the rest of the damn game. But here, they actually had... They weren't friends out of the gates.
Problem with unwanted hair? Is painful itching in your nether regions causing you undue embarrassment? Do you just plain stink? Then you need this, the Gadgetron Personal Hygienitor. Hi, I'm Steve McQuark. And this little baby can take care of any grooming needs that are just too much trouble for you to handle yourself. Allow me to demonstrate. Yeah. Oh, mommy.
Turn it off! Turn it off!
That's cool. You've got 3 of 40 gold bolts, 0 of 10 gold weapons, 1 of 30 skill points. Truly we were going for just the full 100% completion here. Just a resounding effort all around. Give me the platinum right now, honestly. So where's the go back to the main menu option? Because I don't want to do either of those things. I guess I'll just... You know what? How about instead I just put down the controller and I let the game kick me out itself? Because it likes doing that so much while I talk about the game as a whole. Because they weren't friends immediately, they were only in this out of necessity to work together on this grand intergalactic adventure. So when they finally defeat Drek, at first it's like, well, we're done. There's nothing left to do. So, Clank, at first, when Ratchet says you'll be alright, it's because he knows he's going to fix him up. But Clank thinks it's just him saying, you'll be fine, I'm going to go bye now, we defeated Drek. And at first, it was just a pragmatic sort of, we only need to, I only view Ratchet as a means to an end for this mission, so. But then by the end, he's actually genuinely sad he has to leave him behind, and he walks away thinking, our adventure's over, we saved the universe, we can all go home now, I guess I'll never see him again. And just that, man, he's a robot, and he still shows more emotion than, anyone in the remake, going from just being completely dejected to this wide-eyed exuberance when Ratchet calls out his name. He doesn't even call his name, he just calls him a derogatory nickname like Tin Can, and still that lights up his world. Because after all they've been through, they're actually bonded forever for life after the adventure. So they're not leaving. Of course, they're not going to leave each other behind. And oh shit! I bumped one of the buttons. Damn it. Oh well. And the button I pushed was the start the game over button. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. None of these buttons were the things I wanted to push. I did not want to do this. Let's go back to the goodies. Skill points, credits, cheats. Well, we don't have any, so oh well. Anyway, let's head back to the main menu. Just, man, because, and you even see Ratchet sort of struggling with, because the idea of him forming a connection with someone after the way he was shown in the beginning is kind of unheard of for him. So he struggles to get the words out. Like, he doesn't explicitly even say, let's stick around for a while, I want you to be here. But he says it without saying it. Because, like I said, their partnership was purely contractual, in a sense, up until this point. So when he says that, it's framed as like he's just extending the contract of, you can't leave yet, we still gotta fix your arm. And then, of course, there's an unspoken communication between the two of them that what it really means is, I don't want you to go, pal. Come on, stay here for the long haul. And then they actually show you that with the epilogue of them watching TV together. That's... Man, I have my issues with this game. Mainly in that final boss, that's the swing shot just screwed. It wasn't... People told me the final boss is going to be so hard. Granted, I had the Rhino, which makes it a lot easier. And by a lot easier, I mean not a challenge at all. But the problems didn't come from the boss. It came from the goddamn swing shot that just didn't... I was right next to it. I pushed circle and it just didn't actually lock on, which was really, really annoying. But yeah, so that's one thing. The checkpoints are awful. You know it. I know it. There's no point lingering on that. I've said that every single episode since we started the game back in April. I don't like that the game doesn't freeze when you open the weapon wheel. I don't like ice physics. I hated Heaven. I really hated Planet Heaven. I'm not at all sad that it got cut out of the remake. Like, not even a little bit. The inverted controls, I really wish there was an option to adjust. Because I can't imagine it would be that complicated to just add an option that just changes whether it's inverted or not. Because they do it for the camera. I don't know why they can't do it for the flight controls for the Visibomb and stuff. I still don't like Orxon that much with the crabs. The ships were fine once I got to grips with using the Devastator a bit more, but I hate the crabs. The Clank sections, I feel like some of them were almost too slow paced for my liking. The one on Nebula G34 sticks out of my mind for like really, really slowing things down a bit too much. And then there's some things that I can't really hold against the game itself, more just the version I'm playing. Namely, streaming this game is a nightmare, not only because you can't ever leave the controller for more than 10 minutes or else you get booted out, but just because there's a lot of lag that I'm sure wasn't present on the original PS2. And then there's some things that I believe are visual glitches specific to the PS3 version brought about by seeing things you shouldn't be able to because it wasn't meant to be viewed in widescreen, like the O2 meter getting stuck on the side of the screen like I mentioned earlier in the episode. I'm sure there's other glitches, I just don't have an eye for those things because I don't know what the original looked like, I didn't play it on PS2. But that's really all I had to say that's negative about this. I really love that. That was a lot of fun. But I was impressed more so by the story than the gameplay, because I quite enjoy the gameplay of the remake. It's just the story that's a ginormous mess. But the story here was not... It wasn't some avant-garde masterpiece. But it had characters who went on arcs. It had... They had personality. There was a thematic through line to everything that was a bit more nuanced than teamwork makes the dream work, which is the only thematic through line you can pick out of the remake. Everything was sort of filtered around the whole capitalistic, commercialized nature of everything. Which in a way is ironic that the remake sort of sanitized it to the point where it was trying to be more marketable from a commercial perspective, in a way spitting in the face of what this game was all about, like satirizing that level of commercialism or commercialization, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I mean, even just you can really just pick any planet and see how much better it's executed here. But we'll talk about Velden, just like the final area, just because that's where we just were and it's freshest on my mind. Having the finale be set on Velden is such a better choice than the Deplanetizer. Not just because the Deplanetizer in the remake is lazy as hell, it's all just linear hallway after linear hallway, and it's such an anticlimactic place to set the finale of the game. But compared against this, where you come full circle back to Ratchet's home, that has way more meaning to the player. Because I get, like, in the remake, I believe they were threatening to blow up the entire solar system, or like blowing up one planet would cause a chain reaction to destroy an entire solar system, which is higher stakes, but it doesn't feel like it. Whereas this, even though it's only one planet, it feels more personal because it's like that's Ratchet's home. That's where we started the game. If you feel a connection to the place, so you as a player have more of an incentive to fight for saving the day than you do in the remake. And like I said, Ratchet actually had an arc in this game, becoming less self-centered, caring more about the bigger picture instead of just what personally impacts him, learning to work together with Clank. He doesn't learn anything in the remake. The two of them barely even talk to each other in the remake, from what I remember. Also, their personalities actually complement each other here, because they're polar opposites. Ratchet's more edgy, he's more hot-headed, more of a man of action. Clank's a much more reserved, much more precise, cerebral wordsmith, which is why and that complements the game. Both of them, it complements the gameplay, because you have the guns blazing Ratchet and then the slower paced puzzle solving as Clank. Their personalities match the gameplay. It's intentional, you see. They're basically the same in the remake, from what I remember. Like, that's the whole point of this, is that it's supposed to be a story about two complete strangers, that they could not be more dissimilar from each other, that are bonding together through all the trials and tribulations that the universe was throwing at them. And, like, there's this big story about saving the universe and capitalism and everything, but the big payoff is that final scene at the end. That reconciliation between Ratchet and Clank, as they realize that by the end, they came to work together, to care for each other, to bond together as an inseparable team. That's what gets the reaction out of the player, not, oh no, they're gonna blow up the solar system. And it's because they're characters here, with taking... I don't want to keep saying from what I remember, but it's been 6 years since I played the remake, so it's all I can do is go based on my memory. But I feel like any given one of the conversations from the remake would just feel so much more lifeless in terms of the animation and the flow. I think the flow of the dialogue is another huge thing. This game felt very snappy. Characters were constantly talking to each other. There was line after line after line, so it felt like a very natural flow to the conversation. The remake felt much more stilted, with just line, stop, line, stop, line, stop. There were noticeable gaps between the lines, like they aren't even in the same room, which they aren't, of course, because they're voice actors recording things separately. But you don't... If you edit the dialogue correctly, you won't notice that, which I don't think they did in the remake, which is annoying. I also really like that in this game, and even the title screen kind of represents this. Which, by the way, the title screen in the remake is terrible. It's just a generic backdrop of a planet with even more generic music. I really like that this... First off, I'm a fan of atmospheric main menus, whether there's music or not. I like it there's no music here because it's just the ambience of the nighttime environment of Planet Velden. You get to really soak in the atmosphere, admiring a small glimpse of the world ahead. But what I also like is that Ratchet is such a small part of the screen. You see him there, but he's not the main focus. The main focus is it's panning up to the planets above, the universe, the stars beyond this planet, because the world is so much bigger than Ratchet and Clank, and that's a big part of this game, is that they're not the center of the universe. They're a small part in a much bigger plan involving Drek and the Deplanetizer. That even goes into, like, yeah, it's annoying to grind for bolts, but the grinding for bolts does tie into the sort of capitalistic messaging, and it helps reinforce that everything doesn't revolve around Ratchet and Clank. I don't remember really having to pay for anything in the remake, at least not to that extent. It kind of felt like they're just, sure, strangers, I'll help you out of the kindness of my heart. Instead of here where everyone, like, Ratchet and Clank aren't special to anybody. They're just two dudes making their way through the universe trying to save the day. But to them, to everyone else, it's just like, oh, another customer, give me some bolts, and then maybe I'll help you if I'm in a good mood. I really like that element of not making them feel like they're the most important people who ever peopled. They're just a small part of, they're just one cog in a machine. I really, really like that. And Clank actually feels like he matters in this game. Does he do anything in the remake? Like, genuinely. Because it feels like the majority of the screen time in the remake is dedicated to, like... Well, I mean, Quark is more of a character than both Ratchet and Clank. But Clank especially, because the whole thing in the remake is, Ratchet wants to be a Galactic Ranger! Yeah! And that's the story. I don't remember... Does Clank do anything? I really don't know. I don't think he does. I mean, obviously he solves puzzles, but, like, I mean, in terms of the story, what changes if Clank isn't there? Does he have any scene like he does in this game, where you meet up with his mother? Do you have a scene where he becomes giant robot Clank? Does he do anything other than say, I am Clank, This is Ratchet. Does he talk to Ratchet? Oh, here it is. Ooh, here's my favorite message in the whole wide world. You've been inactive for a while. This game will close to make space for other players. You'll lose any unsaved progress. Fuck you. Sincerely, the clowns who made PlayStation Cloud Service Gaming. Oh, what do I care? I'm done playing the game anyway. I really don't think Clank matters to the story of the remake at all. You know, maybe I'll replay the remake and I'll completely change my tune, but right now I don't think Clank feels expendable from what I remember of that game, which sucks. But he does matter here, which is great. There is a clear, because I guess I've been talking a lot about how the story is a lot better, obviously, than it is in the remake. But then there's the whole element of gameplay, and it's hard for me to make the calls to which game has the better gameplay, technically speaking, because in this game, it's slower paced. It's not as frantic. There's not as much happening. It feels more methodical, if that makes sense, because you have less health than you do in the remake, and health is a lot scarcer to come by than it is in the remake, which means that you have to be a lot more careful with how you approach combat. I guess this might just come down to personal preference, because they're both really, really good. They're both really, really fun games to play. It might just come down to whether you prefer the slower pace or the faster pace. I think I do still prefer the faster paced nature of the newer games. Because, I mean, there is still, it's not to say that there's no strategy in the remake or Rift Apart at all. There still is, definitely. There's still plenty of times in both those games where I've had to really stop and think, okay, what weapon do I need to use here? What do I need to prioritize? What's the best course of action for getting through this encounter? There's still plenty of that. It's just not as methodical here because you have more health, and it's a more hectic game by nature, as opposed to here where, because you're so fragile, you don't have as much room for error. The strategic prioritization is a lot more essential here. And honestly, maybe I would say I preferred the more methodical approach and the slower pace if it weren't for the checkpoints. Because the fact that you have such little health results in you getting reset back to the last terrible checkpoint a lot of times, which is really, really annoying. See, I don't know. Both games are really fun. I don't really think... It's hard for me to make the calls to whether I prefer the remake or the original gameplay. Regardless, they're both still really fun games to play. Although, here's one thing I haven't mentioned yet that it's worth calling out. I didn't recognize, any of the weapons in this game. I know the Pyrocitor, and there's a similar thing to the bomb glove here. In the remake, it's the fusion grenade, I think. They have something similar to the Glove of Doom. I don't know if it's called the Glove of Doom, or it's called something else, but that's there. But a lot of the weapons here I just didn't recognize at all, which is really weird to me, because you'd think if you were remaking this game, you'd want to remake the weapons as well, but they really didn't at all. It's kind of like if they remade Halo Combat Evolved, only instead of using the weapon sandbox from that game, they just used Halo 4's weapon sandbox or something. I don't know, it's weird, but I guess they really wanted you to come and buy a pixelizer. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time. In conclusion, really, really good. I like that game a lot. Not that I ever doubted that I would. There was never any doubt that I was gonna enjoy Ratchet and Clank, because I like the remake, and frankly, the original is just a better version. I mean, it looks better, obviously. It has more visual polish. That I don't really think that counts. I've never really held visual fidelity to be a super important thing when it comes to rating games. Of course, it's something worth calling attention to and praising when it's there, but there's more to a game. There's a lot more important things to a game than how good it looks or how shiny it is. And also, I don't even think, the environments look better, but the characters are not anywhere near as expressive as they are in the original. They feel a lot more alive in the original than they do in the remake. Everything just feels so dull in this game. And I'll say this, I don't want to make it sound like I just completely turned on the remake, because I do still love this game. I have a lot of really personal attachments to it from when I played it in high school. A lot of really, really fond memories are associated with this game. And it is only because of this game that I got into the franchise, and I wanted to play Rift Apart when it came out. So, for that reason alone, I do have, or at least for that reason especially, I have a lot of respect for this, and it's always gonna hold a special place in my heart. So I don't want to make it sound like I've just suddenly started hating on the game, like I'm gonna make a giant rant about it or something. I do still love it, and I would still defend it as being fun to play. But when you compare it to what it's originally based on, I don't blame, because for a while I was always behind the position of like, I don't understand why this game is so widely reviled, because I had a blast playing it, and I would still probably have a blast playing it. When I revisit this next year, I probably will still enjoy the gameplay of it. It's just the story that is gonna be a lot more annoying to me. So I can now more easily empathize with those who say that they don't like this remake, especially because it's like, you could easily make this a 10 out of 10 game. Get better checkpoints. Fix the weapon wheel. Maybe just, I don't know, turn the defensizer on Hoven. I don't know, just food for thought. Something worth considering. Fix the damn crabs. Give inverted control options. Maybe polish up the Clank stuff. Just a couple things here and there just to polish it up. Maybe don't make the Rhino cost 150,000 bolts, or at least make bolts easier to come by so I don't have to rely on that stupid taunter hoverboard race glitch thing. You could easily make this a 10 out of 10 game, which I assume is what people thought was going to happen when they remade it for the PS4, right? It's the opportunity to patch up those small issues that the original had to make it something truly amazing, but then they didn't do that. They just sanitized it and made a super generic story, sapped all the life out of the story of the original, and cut a lot of the planets. Some of which were fine to cut, some of which were not fine to cut. Why did you cut Eudora? Why did you cut Umbrus? I even don't think you should have cut... I don't like Orxon, but I think you should have kept it because it would have actually given a reason for you to use the O2 mask beyond Poketaru. And the idea of having it be a planet you do as Clank first, then opens up to be wider as Ratchet. I also like Altanus, of that being a planet you have to do exclusively as Ratchet to give you an extra platforming challenge. So much that you shouldn't have cut, but then you did, and you replaced it with your own crappy linear hallway level design. Yeah, I feel your pain now if you were really upset by this remake. I would not call it a bad game. I still wouldn't say that. But as a remake, yeah, I get it. I get it now. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah. A lot of fun. People always like to ask what numerical score I would give something. I don't really like doing that, just because I feel like the numerical score is the least valuable part of what I have to say about any given game, because someone's 8 is another person's 7. Like, I could talk to someone about a game or a movie, and we could completely agree on every single problem and point of praise for it, and still come away with one of us giving it a 7, the other giving it an 8. And it's like, someone telling me that they thought it was an 8 or a 7 doesn't really mean much to me, because it can mean anything for any reason, because everyone's numerical scale is different. What I care more about when listening to someone talk about something like that is what they actually have to say, what they would ascribe, like what qualifications they would make to why they would say something is good or bad. But if you're curious as to what number score I'd give this, I'd give the original. I'd probably go for probably an 8. I was thinking about maybe a 7 or a 7.5, but I think there's enough good here to give it an 8. It's just that there's those damn checkpoints, man. And from what apparently it's the same for the other games in the original PS2 trilogy as well. So that's gonna be great. Which, by the way, yes, I will be playing the other Ratchet and Clank games. I've got a lot to get through, but I have agreed to play all of them. I will not, however, be playing them back to back to back. I'm not doing that because I've done that for other series before on the channel, and I've been burnt out on them. I'm not doing that here. Granted, this isn't something like Danganronpa, where I hate it and I don't want to do it, but even something that even something I love, if you do too much of it too fast, you can easily get burnt out on it, and I don't want that to happen for Ratchet and Clank. So but I don't want to just stop entirely. So the next thing you'll probably see from me from this game is going to be me replaying the remake and seeing how much I like it compared to my original playthrough back in 2016 and 2017. And then a little while later, I'll come back and play Ratchet and Clank 2. I'll probably come back to it in February, I think. I'll take January off because I have some other games I want to do. I have some other extraterrestrial What's a synonym for this? Other extraterrestrial records, written accounts, chronologies, archives, annals, registers, logs. Some other of those things I wanna set off on. And of course, there's always some people who probably could use some help if I were to guess. You never know. But I will be back with Ratchet Clank 2 next year, probably February. I'm gonna take January off, do some other things. Obviously, I mean, I've been a little cryptic with what I just said there about what's coming next immediately for Let's Plays. Obviously, I want to do Indiana Jones the Emperor's Tomb in January. Beyond that, you'll have to figure the rest out for yourself, and you have until Monday to do it, so good luck, because they're starting up next week. That'll be for now. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me play through Ratchet Clank as much as I enjoyed playing through it, and I hope to see you all in the new year for whatever it is you decide to watch next. Goodbye!